August 17th. It's Friday. We just had some fairly significant strong thunderstorms. They've just moved through. Apparently it's still storming in Adkins. Got some more coming in from up in the northwest area, northwest Arkansas area. Don't know what time they'll be here. They look pretty significant. The one that we had this morning had a lot of lightning in it, a lot of thunder, which meant I've been awake since about 4 o'clock because the dogs were scared. I just left their thunder shirts on them. I've got to run to town to meet Miss Betsy for something. She's got a funeral to go to later today, but she had found a estate sale she wanted to go check out, so I told her I'd ride along with her. Probably not going to buy a whole lot because I've got to make sure I've got enough money to pay for the rest of Bo's training bill and groceries for the rest of the month and everything, but we'll see. I mean, if there's some really good bargain, I might get it, but I doubt that I will. But I like to go look and see what there is, and it's fun to go with her, so yeah, so that's kind of how the morning's shaping up. We're supposed to ride late this evening. The little girl that's riding Sterling, well, not little girl, the teenage girl that's riding Sterling now mostly is coming in from Little Rock with her mom, and her mom had asked if I could, it's Mary Ann's granddaughters, they asked if I could meet her tonight and help her a little bit, and I'm like, sure. But these storms may keep us, if this keeps up, may keep us from doing that. Maybe they'll move through. We'll see. So, yeah, it's, I checked on the chicks. They're all dry. They're all up on their dry areas, so they're good. Rabbits seem to be okay. I saw Trixie, Chips, and Angel, which was good. I need to call the donkeys up here in a minute, here in a little bit, to see if they make sure that they're okay. I just get paranoid about lightning now. Anyway, I'm headed to town, so I'll check in with you guys later. There's some pretty houses down in here. Did you ever think to ask Jane about those papers on those houses?
No, I've got to do that. I hadn't talked to her very much, but I'll have to do that. That's a redone one.
That's a cute. I like the stained glass.
And these are straight. That one's straight ahead.
Yeah, that was, I like that gray one over there with the big door on it. They go to the church where the labyrinth is. We've got a pretty impressive roll cloud coming in with this second wave of storms here. They're coming down from northwest Arkansas, and apparently they're moving fairly quickly because originally they weren't supposed to get here till 1, and then they moved it to noon, and now they've moved it to 11, and it's almost 11 now. So that's what you're seeing there, that dark line. See how light the sky is up here, and then there's that dark line. That's the roll cloud on the leading edge of that next wave of thunderstorms. Well, me not buying anything kind of went out the window, but these were very inexpensive. Apparently this estate sale was the wife of a former Arkansas Tech University professor, which is where I actually went to university. And they entertained a lot. She had about 5 punch bowls, all kinds of crystal glasses, all kinds of serving pieces, lots of Christmas and other holiday decorations. I mean, it was a woman after my own heart. So, I found Willie, quit barking at the outside cats. Silly boy. The first thing that caught my eye was I collect these glass nesting chickens. They're a fairly popular item. I have a few of them. I don't have very many, but I like them for the farmness of them. Then this bowl and these little plates, I guess this might have been a fruit salad bowl or something, but this shape and then this design exactly matches the apple dessert plate sets that were the same as what my grandmother had, my mom's mother had. So I got that. And then there's this little crystal bowl. I just thought the swans on it were really charming. It's from Teleflora. It has a tag on it that says it's crystal, but if you didn't know, the fact that it rings, that's a giveaway that it's crystal. And then I saw this little book. The lady just gave me this little tiny book. It's a little book about telling time. It was just laying on top of a box of books, and I thought it was so sweet. It was actually published in 1942. So I thought it was really sweet. It has the little farm theme on it there. Okay. So I thought that was really cute and sweet, so I picked that up. She just gave that to me since it was just by itself. It was just a little tiny book. So yeah, $7. $7 for my goodies here. I thought that was a pretty good deal. I think this was 3. This set was 3. This was 2, and the chicken was 2, and I got the little 1942 book for free. So anyway, that was my exploits. The rain is here. I've let all the animals out to go potty. I fed outside everybody so they could have some snack and made sure that everybody had a dry place to get and plenty of water. So I have a horrific headache for some reason today. I don't really know why. It may be because of this weather. Caffeine hasn't helped it. Maybe eating might help. But anyway, I'm going to just relax for a little bit, and then I'm going to work on cleaning on that spare room. I thought I'd share with you quickly the rest of my chickens. These 2 I got at the auction where I actually bought this farm cabinet. Miss Hayes and I went up to an auction of an antique store way up in the mountains last October. These 2 were my first 2. I got those at an auction pretty close to my house. The lady that had these, her husband was a clock maker and a clock repairman, and he traveled all over the world. And she had an antique store, so this was some of her stock. And I also got this one at the auction up in the mountains too. The lady that had the auction with the first set that I got, her husband went to Japan and got this little. It's real. She said it was a sake set, but I don't know. But they sold it together. He got that from Japan. And there's my new chicken right there. She doesn't have room down here yet. I'll have to move some things around. This vase, or this pitcher I got last year at Bargains Galore on 64, and I'm not sure, but I think it's Hazel Atlas. This is a Hazel Atlas pitcher that I bought off of eBay. I've got my sunflower dessert plate sets here with some things on top of them that I'm going to make a little vignette out of. This is a little spoon rest that I got. I think it's a spoon rest, maybe, or maybe it's an ashtray, but it looks like a spoon rest that I got just at a side of the road auction. And then this little tea set Miss Hayes got in a box of odd lots at that same auction up in the mountains, and she gave it to me because she didn't really want it. The little pitcher, the little cocktail pitcher, I got that. It's got a trillium flower on it. I got that when she and I went junking up in the mountains, another place. And then I've accumulated these little leaf plates over time. Just here and there you find those are fairly common to find. I've got 2 divided ones. I've got 3 or 4 of these regular ones, and then I've got this bigger one that I guess you'd put relishes or whatever in. These are some bowls she bought me at a church auction. And then this little this is a little salt cellar, or it's a sugar server. It doesn't have the little spoon with it anymore, but I paid 50 cents for that at Marva, and it's crystal and silver. So there's my chicken collection, all in their coop in the antique kitchen cabinet that I bought at that same auction up in the hills for 40 bucks. I bought this cabinet, and it's got original hardware. I did have to put some different screws in it, but it's got original hardware on it. It's got the beadboard back on it, and then it's got the tilt-out flour bin, and I store my dish towel, or not my dish towels, but my tablecloths in there. So it's kind of junked up right now. I've got paper towels and stuff sitting on it, but I kind of have it decorated with farm things. So some stuff up on top. Some old, there's my honey jar I got the other day, and then my little geese are like 1960s or 1950s measuring spoons, and old mason jars, and just different things. A friend of mine's grandmother died, and they took her house on, and she was cleaning out the house one day, and she gave me the 2 chickens. And then that little broom is from the Ozark Folk Center. That's an ironstone pitcher. I think she's got the right idea. Well, it's about 6:30 and I am over here at the barn. Rory, Marianne's granddaughter, the one who's been working with Sterling some, is in town today. They live about an hour and a half away, but her mom had messaged me and wanted to know if I would help her with Sterling tonight, and I said of course I would be glad to. So I came over here to meet her. She just got here and is going down to get Sterling, so we'll get him ready and work with him some this evening.
Oh, you're a
What a good boy.
Is that your food? Take your food. Sure.
He's eating. He's like, I'm hungry.
Like,
He's a good
it's
boy.
not grass, it's not hay.
They don't have a whole lot of grass left out there this time of year, unfortunately.
Oh, boy.
Good. Good having him turn towards you. That's good.
Good. Good. Good try. Oh. Oh, boy.
Okay. Now, getting him to turn towards you right there is going to be tough because it kind of makes a corner. So turn him back around and send him somewhere over here by me and turn him. Good. Okay, so shoulders. There you go. And use your seat to keep him moving at that nice marching walk. Good. Good. All the way around. That was good. Now take your jump. So you're going to ride deep into the corner. Motivate. 2 point. Ah. Get forward. Remember to get forward a little bit. 2 point. Yeah. Okay. Good. That was a nice. He just stepped over, and he's so big he can do that. Oh, that was. Okay. Here we go. Getting to 2 point though. 2 point. 2 point. Yeah. Okay. Got in at 2 point a little. Don't worry about it. He's not. Don't even think about him doing that again. Just you think I'm going forward. Well, that's cooling him down. I've got my phone in that door there, so just be careful when you open it. Just take it out and turn it off. I'm taking the video for my vlog. I'm trying to do Vlogust, so I can just let you eat right there.
This out, son.
Good boy.
I'll pop the ball in here. Baby. Oh, yeah. There's a baby. You're my second baby.
They say apps don't have tails. And I'm like, I beg to differ.
Yeah, I was brushing Carol's, but I was like, oh, Sterling's is so long.
Yeah, Bo's is really long. Well, I guess I'm going to end here for tonight. It's a little bit later than I normally end these, but I stayed over at the barn until a little bit after 8 with Rory, and then I met some friends in town and played Pokemon Go for a little bit. And then I came home and fed the ponies their night snack. I'm splitting up how I'm feeding them now to see if it helps them a little bit. Shut the chickens up, came in, and the dogs had already eaten, so I let them out to go potty. I try to get them on a schedule when I'm at work where I feed them like at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then they're ready to go out to the bathroom about 8 o'clock, because I usually try to go to bed by 9 o'clock when I'm working, so I can easily get up at 5. And I like to get to campus before 7 if possible, because I like to walk in the mornings whenever possible around campus. We have a really beautiful campus, and so I try to walk at least 1.5 miles in the morning, and then try to walk another mile or 1.5 miles at lunchtime before I go into class. So it was a pretty quiet day. You know, Miss Hayes and I visited a little bit on text afterwards. She had to go to a funeral for an elderly lady that she had known a lot of years, and it was actually up here by my house. So we were talking about that a minute, and then we found a new website called estatesales.net. that could be a costly find. There's some estate sale, you know, like people list their estate sales on there, so that you can go to them and see kind of ahead of time what they might have. So that was kind of cool. And then I was glad to go over, you know, to work with Rory, because I appreciate her taking an interest in Sterling. You guys, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Yeah, you telling me about it? Okay. I appreciate her taking an interest in Sterling. You know, I donated Sterling to that riding program for a specific little girl who had lost a horse due to an accident at the trainers. And I felt bad for her, and Sterling needed someone to love him, and I just had too many horses at the time to deal with. And at that point, you know, my parents had passed, and I was depressed, and I wasn't really wanting to do a lot, so it kind of helped me to get involved in the program again. Unfortunately, you know, sometimes little girls grow up into teenagers, and they get busy with school, and they kind of lose their interest in horses. And, you know, he would be watching all the other horses get brought up and get used, and he would stand there at the gate with just the saddest look on his face, and he was sad. I mean, he was lonely and depressed, and you know, I mean, and that's fine. I realize that not everybody has time for horses, but then, you know, say, look, I don't have time for this horse, would somebody else take him on, instead of just showing up maybe once in a blue moon and getting mad at him when he doesn't perform up to your expectation. He's not a horse that you can just ride every 6 months and he's going to be rock solid. He needs to be worked a lot. You know, he is his breeding bloodlines are notoriously stubborn, and so he needs to be ridden really not daily, but several times a week to keep him where you want him, you know. And when he's only ridden maybe once a month, you know, and that's just at play days where she's running him and pulling on him and everything. So I'm just really glad that Rory has taken an interest in him and has been willing to work with him. He's been ridden more this summer than he's probably been ridden in the last 2 years, and he is loving the attention. I mean, he waits for her at the gate. He's so excited to get to come up. His attitude has totally changed. And I'm really glad, because it was just, you know, it was breaking my heart. You know, I was regretting every day that I had done that to him, you know, because he was the first baby I raised, and he's a little bit special to me. And you know, horses, they form a bond with you just like a dog or a cat or any pet would. I mean, they know their people, you know, and it doesn't have to just be one person. I mean, there are some horses that are one-person horses. My little mare Pandora that died, she was a one-person horse. I was her person, and she didn't want anything to do with anybody else. But, you know, Gusty, bless her, she loves me, and she knows Mama, but she knows to take care of Zoe, and she knows when you put a little kid or a beginner rider on her. Flame is the same way. Flame knows Mama, but she loves Eleanor, too. Bo loves everybody, I think. So, but they form bonds with you, and it breaks their heart when you turn your back on them and turn away from them, you know, just like it would abandoning a dog or a cat. You know, it breaks their heart. And I was to the point where I would just almost be in tears every time I would see him out there, because I felt like I had let him down. So I'm really proud that Rory is wanting to work with him. You know, it's causing a little bit of consternation with the other little girl and her family, I think. But at the end of the day, because he is being ridden, then when she does come to ride him, she didn't fight with him like she did. So I think that they see the benefit of it. I suspect she's probably going to go out, she's going to graduate this year, and she's going to go to college out of state. And I think that that'll probably be the end of her riding him. I don't know that, but you know, and they have 2 other horses over there that would love some attention too. So I'm trying to encourage them to also ride those horses. And they are older. They're older horses. They are the kind that you can ride once a year or twice a year and they will be fine. You know, but I don't know. I raised several babies and most of them I know where they're at. There's only one that I really don't know where she's at, and I kind of sort of know. I sold her to a lady who died of breast cancer, and you know, you still have these people on your Facebook feed that are no longer with us, and I think that she ended up with the girl's niece who rides and is a good horse person, so I feel okay about that. Laddie was another one that ended up going somewhere, but I get updates on him periodically. Summer and Honey are buried in the pasture where they were hit by the lightning. All the rest of the babies that I've raised are at Mary Ann's, except for Trixie, and she's here. So I'm thankful that I'm able to keep tabs on where they're at because it matters to me. I probably, you know, I try to take it, remember that it is a business, but when you're a horse person, it's more than a business. It's, you put a little bit of your heart and soul into every one of those babies. And you wait for a year for them to get here. And so, anyway. So, I'm going to leave y'all with it for tonight. I hope that you're all doing good. I appreciate everybody's feedback on the You Were Enough thing. I'm glad that y'all enjoyed that. I hope that we're all going into a good weekend. We got some more thunderstorms coming tonight. It's lightning off to the west and thundering. They may skirt to the south of us, so we'll see. But I hope they do, because if they're going to thunder all night until 4:30, that means I'm not going to get a whole lot of sleep because of the dogs being anxious and worried. But anyway, so yeah, so I hope that everything is going well. I hope that you're getting your crafting stuff accomplished that you want to accomplish. I'm making some progress on those socks. I'm kind of itching to cast on a shawl. I've been wanting to do the Stephen West Boneyard shawl, but I've got that Resinette shawl that I probably need to finish first. And then I've remembered that I signed up for a mystery knit along that starts September 3rd. So it's a shawl also. I need to wind the yarn for that and everything. So anyway, good day here. I enjoyed getting to visit with Miss Betsy. I enjoyed going to the estate sale. Willie is steadily de-stuffing this alligator over here. This is why they don't get stuffed toys very often. Because they get de-stuffed fairly quickly. Anyway, I enjoyed going to the estate sale with Miss Betsy. I enjoyed thinking about the stories that might go with those things. I relaxed this weekend, this afternoon. It was raining most of the afternoon. I did go in my spare room and do a little bit of organizing. Just a little bit. And I just mostly relaxed this afternoon, and then I met Rory and worked with her. So it was a good afternoon, you know. I enjoy helping young people, and it makes me happy. So I guess that's going to be my legacy when I'm gone, is the people that I've tried to help. So anyway, y'all have a good one. Y'all be good to each other, and y'all take care of each other, and maybe we'll visit again tomorrow. And until then, peace out, y'all. Bye.